Howdy folks, welcome back and thanks for joining me on this video. So this is one of those product reviews that I actually purchased and I wasn't actually thinking of prepping at the time per se. It was actually more work necessity. And then when I got the product, it became something that I was kind of impressed with, so much so that I bought another product for my wife. So I'll be right back and I'm going to do an unboxing of this particular respiratory protection device that I got my hands on. I'll be right back and we'll get to it. Welcome back everybody, and thanks for joining me once again on the Roaming Prepper channel. I'm your host Pete, and I appreciate your time and your patience as I struggle through my largely erratic schedule this last year. So what product was I reviewing? So this one was interesting because actually it came up in a worksite incident. It did not have masks. Now normally if they know they have H2S in a location, they will have a safety trailer and you go in there and you fit your mask, and if you need to, you shave, which I'll get to in a minute. And then I started thinking, well shoot guys, with the Ohio train derailment, the fires we've had in Baytown and Pasadena south of Houston, those big refineries, the incidents we've had in the Louisiana refineries, the accidents we've had on highways, derailments where chemicals go into the air and people get a shelter in place. But what if you can't shelter in place, right? What if you cannot? You're caught in your car and here comes this cloud of whatever. And it doesn't have to be a terror attack. It doesn't have to be something evil. It could be something as simple as an industrial accident or a truck accident, which happens all the time. And then what? So I wanted a few things. I wanted to be protected from hydrogen sulfide. I wanted something that was going to be a little lighter weight because it's hot in Texas. Something, if I needed to, I could wear a hard hat with, or I could wear a hat with, or a hood, depending on what I'm dealing with, if you get what I'm saying. And I also wanted something that would allow me to be intelligible. In other words, if I'm talking to you while I'm wearing the mask, you can understand what the hell I'm saying. Because it does me no purpose if I have a mask, you have a mask, and we're trying to talk, and I can't understand what the hell you're saying. So now we're sign languaging to each other. I'm in the process of learning American Sign, but I don't know it well enough to hold a conversation, so that's a problem. What I wound up settling on, and they had a variety of products, was the MIRA 6M or CM-6M. And this is a multi-purpose chemical mask. It is a CBRN-rated mask. And when I got the first one, my intent, as I said, was more workplace. And when I looked at what it was capable of, it was so impressive to me, I actually bought another one. And yes, I actually bought two, one for me and one for the wife, because of where we live. And you know, we're a few miles from a railroad. But again, what happened in Ohio, you could have been a couple of miles away and you still got those chemicals on you. So MIRA Safety is one of several vendors out in the market, but they seem to be the most squared away, and this is how I wound up with this particular mask. So we're going to do an unboxing. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to do a fit test because of my facial hair, but I will explain what that is and why we need to do it. And we're going to kind of walk through this. So when you open the box, it basically looks like this. Now, I'm going to confess right now, I did already open the bag, but this mask was vacuum sealed in the bag. So that was definitely interesting and a good idea. So you pull your mask out, and basically it comes like this. It has this little protective foam over your glass. And you reach in, you pull it out, and when you remove it, this is essentially what you have. Now, as I said, I had a few things on my criteria. One was that I have a good visibility in the mask. Now, if you look at this mask, you can see from actually I'll do it overhead, you almost have 120, if not 140 degree field of view. It's actually almost damn near 180. So you figure your eyes will be a little bit back in there, but you have a really good field of vision. Now there were some higher end masks, the 7 and 8 level, that had smaller eye holes. They give you better protection, but for what I'm expecting, my risk, my situation, that's not what I was expecting. What I was expecting more was possibly having to go sandstorm, smoke storm, being downwind from a wildfire. There's another reason. And so this made a hell of a lot of sense. Now, so you have this safety glass or safety plastic across the front. As you can see, it has 6 straps and a very low profile. If you see, if I expand it there, which means I can wear a cap or I can wear a hard hat on top of this if I'm in a work site or if I'm in an environment where I need head protection. So that was something I needed to, that checked one of my boxes as well. According to this, it has a speech diaphragm. I don't know if you can see it inside that little hole here. And it claims to be on the box a 98% or 97% intelligibility, which means, I don't know how they measure it, but intelligibility of talk, 95%, my bad. So essentially you can communicate. If you remember during the Rona, even with some of these stupid, bandana style masks, the masks people were wearing during COVID, you couldn't understand what the hell people were saying. And as humans, we like to see each other's lips and facial expressions. This also allows my teammates or whoever's with me to see my face and also read some of my expressions. So that's kind of like a hidden thing that people don't think about. Now, one thing that did come included that I hadn't put on my list originally, it came with a canteen. Now, those of you who've been in the service, you remember the old mop gear. Yes, it has a little insert, and it's actually nestled on the side of the mask. Now, if you think about it, that's something I hadn't factored in originally, because in my mind, I'm thinking worksite, you go in, do your survey or whatever, and get the hell out, and then decontaminate or wipe down and go get water. Well, if I'm stuck in an environment where I can't do that, I can actually drink and hydrate. And considering it was triple digits for almost 2.5 months straight in Texas this year, that's a pretty big deal. So again, that was even a checkbox I hadn't even originally listed. Now, I did get one filter, which is sufficient, but if you notice, the mask itself actually has 2 filter holes. Now, when you do the fit test, you actually put it over your face and you make sure this is sealed. This actually is an airtight plug. And then you put your hand over this and you inhale. So you get it to where it fits on your face. You cover this and you inhale, and it should suck the mask into your face. A good way to think about it is when you go snorkeling, you know how you blow the water out and then you push the mask and inhale, and it should go and it should suck up onto your face. That's exactly what should happen with this if you're covering the hole. Obviously, facial hair is going to be a factor. Now, my company requires it needs to be within the jawline and above the Adam's apple, which I'm kind of pushing it there. But that's in general for general purpose respirators and protective gear. In the event it's something really noxious, I need to check and see. So I'm going to have to do a fit test with my beard and see if it's satisfactory. And if not, I need to have an understanding of how much I need to take off if I'm going to a work site or somewhere dangerous, or if something happens in my area while we're at home and we start putting these masks on. I want to be sure I know that how much I have to take off, or do I need to be clean shaven? Probably more than likely I'm going to have to clean shave and leave a mustache or something. But in any case, so for those of you who have beards like me, that's a factor here. Now, MIRA Safety does have a variety of masks. This is actually kind of like the middle level mask or mid upper mask. They actually have some that are very basic. They have some for face only that don't cover the eyes. They have some that are, single filter, double filter. And then they have some higher end, much higher end than this one, that are meant for some serious like nuclear biological stuff. This will protect from quite a bit of stuff. And I was very surprised to learn that it will not only protect from hydrogen sulfide up to a certain concentration for a certain period of time, because remember, the filters are not infinite. There is a period of time you have, but it also protects from hydrogen cyanide, which is not something I'm expecting people to just have floating around the air. It could be from an industrial accident. It could be from a deliberate action on the part of other people. But in any case, that was interesting to know. And there was a variety of other chemicals. So again, the price points on these range anywhere from 150 up to 400, depending on what you're looking at. This one was kind of right smack in the middle of that range. But it's a budget item, right? This is not something, and when I say budget, you need to budget it in. This is not something you go down to the corner store and you pick up. You need to factor in what your individual situation is. Do you live near a refinery? Do you live near a chemical plant? Do you live near railroads that transport chemicals, like the people in Ohio? Are you on a work site at times, or is there a possibility you may have a forest fire, a ground fire? Think of Maui, think of what all the fires in Canada. This would actually help with that. Now, keep in mind, you have to have over 17, 18% oxygen in the air. So this does not provide oxygen. Okay, so if you have insufficient oxygen in the air in general, you need a tank. You don't need, an oxygen tank. You don't need this thing. But if you have air that has been contaminated with stuff that you don't want to breathe, but there is oxygen sufficient in the air, this will fit the bill. This will give you a hell of a lot more protection than, your N95 masks, your paint respirators, your sheetrock masks, stuff like that. This was a very kind of a specific need of checklists for me. And it fit all the boxes. It checked off all the boxes for my situation. And as I said, I was impressed enough that I waited a few paychecks and bought another one, because it just made sense to have this at the house, considering everything that's been going on. And I'm just talking about disasters and accidents. At least we think they're accidents or disasters. I'm not talking about deliberate acts of human beings. Now, one last factor I did have in the back of my mind that I didn't want to admit to up front, but I did, was in the event I'm wearing this, I want to have visibility, not just to speak to coworkers or to communicate to other people or to see what's around me so I don't get like hit by a fire truck or something. But in a tactical situation, I want to be able to see on my periphery. I want to be able to see what's on my flanks. I want to make sure I don't spin, say, a carbine around and catch a friendly person in my cone of fire. I want to be able to see who's to my left and right and be able to move and function reasonably well without constantly turning my head and exhausting myself. So this fit a lot of check boxes for me. Again, this particular mask is the CM-6M. I do have a link in my YouTube, Rumble, all my social media. I have a link there. You can go through that and explore, and I would encourage you to explore. These are not cheap products. Explore and see what fits, among other things, what fits your need, what fits your budget, and what is the likelihood of danger. Again, for me, hydrogen sulfide it's irritating to the eyes, it's noxious to the lungs. You may be in an area where it's more an issue of smoke, which may affect your eyes, but it's more an inhalation, so the regular mask may fit the bill. You don't need the full face mask. You may live near a refinery that may have some horrendous stuff in it, and you may need to get the mask of a greater level than this one, which they do have. So do your homework, understand your area, and understand what the likely problems may be. And more importantly, make sure it fits in your budget. These are not times to buy things carelessly, but for us, proximity to work, proximity to other industry, proximity to railways, it made sense for us. And again, if we wind up going back to Houston, going back to Dallas, these cities in Texas that have refineries and chemical plants, it just made sense. So, folks, that's it for this review. I hope this was helpful. And once again, as I've said all the time, do your homework, make sure it fits in your life, your risks, your needs, and your budget. Do your homework. Again, I have the link in my bio, so to say. But if you have any specific questions, if I don't make it to my own premiere, which has happened, please leave your questions in the comments. I'll be happy to talk to you and answer any questions. You can also email me at theroamingprepper@gmail.com. Other than that, folks, be safe, be careful out there, take care of each other, and do your homework. Now's the time to think through everything you're doing and be very deliberate in your actions. Till next time, God bless, take care, and I'll see you on the next video.
You helping me there? Is that good? You shredding it? Good girl. Can I have it? Can I have it? All right, fine, I won't have it. Well, howdy, folks. Well, this is the MIRA CM-6M mask. I've done a few short videos on it. I'm going to do a longer video on YouTube and Rumble. Now, a few things. I don't have the filter in. This side is plugged. This is where your voice diaphragm is. So you can kind of hear me. Now, to fit test it, you put it on tight, like I have. Cover this open hole, and it should suck onto my face when I inhale. So let's see. Yep, you saw that, how it went back on my face, so. Which means it actually sealed over my beard, which I'm kind of impressed by. So, mental note, if you have a goatee above the Adam's apple, inside the jawline, it works.